the actual Final Fantasy happening? How many? Anyway, I'm sorry. Would definitely be Hogwarts Legacy. Probably one of the, even though I haven't beaten it yet, it's one of the best games I've ever played. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's beautiful. The fact that you can customize your character, you can have, and again, man, you know me, niggas know me, black.
I never knew.
Baldur's Gate 3 has already claimed the top prize at the Golden Joystick Awards for
What did he say?
the Golden Teleratus.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, hell no, man.
What's going on, people? It's your boy Macky Yo.
Loving the South Park jokes.
What's going on, people? Hope y'all doing well. Hope y'all living right. I'm here with my good brothers. We got the razor sharp assassin and we have the razor sharp assassin with the clipper in Johnny B. We also got the gray Kage, the no more black Kage, Chris, and we got the silver surfer and Crispin. And we got Batman forward, Batman Shawny, Batman forward, Batman Shawny, Batman forward, Batman Shawny, Batman Shawny in a motherfucking building, and we are the Nerdy by Nature podcast.
Bienvenidos. What up again, this podcast.
As you guys can see, as we all can see, Shawny is not dark skinned. He is actually brown skin. Oh my God. Oh, no, he's not light skinned. I'm not going to do that to my guy. He's brown skinned. Let's give him a round of applause for getting that light though.
Nah, he gave the 2021 vision to his camera, nigga.
Welcome to episode 92 of the podcast, y'all. So today we are going to talk about, because we haven't spoken about it and it's almost December, the Game of the Year Awards.
This is the Game Awards. They have the Game of the Year category.
So I'm going to pass it over to my brother Shawny. Shawny, take us out since you got all that light over there.
Since you got all that light.
Am I glitching? Because if not, I'll just stop my camera for now.
No, you're good.
Okay. All right. So about a few weeks ago, we had the Game Awards had pushed out the nominees for the Game of the Year for 2023, and let's just say it got very controversial. The 6 games that were nominated were Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Now, I will say that this year, in my opinion, has been a very good year for gaming. Agreed. In the last 5 years, very, very good. I think there were many games that could have been up here. We could have had our own nominations for such that we'll get into later, but these were the 6 that were done. And there were a lot of bit of controversial topics. There was the fact of like the recency bias. You have Alan Wake 2 that just came out recently. Baldur's Gate 3 came out recently, but I'd argue that one is like very well done. Spider-Man 2, I know you want me to wait for me to say it. Let me fucking finish. There's more than one on here. This motherfucker hates Sony with a passion. Marvel Spider-Man 2 recently, and you also have Super Mario Brothers Wonder, which came out recently as well. John, you could correct me.
That came out in like September, right?
No, Wonder came out maybe just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, it came out maybe 3 weeks ago. It was very close. And Legend of Zelda. The only 2 games, excuse me. Let me take the Legend of Zelda part back. The only 2 games on the list that came out this year, but not recently, were Tears of the Kingdom and Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 is getting backlash because it's a remake that got nominated, but I argue back against it with the fact that there were multiple games that have been nominated in the last 10 years that were remakes. Resident Evil 2, Final Fantasy 7, The Last of Us. And if you want to say that remakes can't get nominated, you need to shit on The Last of Us as well, because that shit's been getting remade since fucking PS3.
I actually do shit on.
Okay.
Yeah.
As long as the energy, the energy's the same. That's all I care.
I actually feel like none of them should get any of that shit.
None of them motherfuckers should have gotten none.
Especially if it's a 1-to-1 remake.
Oh,
that makes it even
get it the
worse
fuck out of here.
for me.
Get it the fuck out of here.
A 1-to-1 remake, like that's not fair.
That shit came out in 2005. Get it the fuck out of here.
So that being said, I'm gonna pass it on to you guys to give your thoughts on we'll start with the nominations, then we'll work it out through there. Whoever wants to go first, what are your thoughts on the nominations?
I'm keeping 100. I haven't played none of these motherfucking games, so I can't even say nothing.
I knew that was coming.
Other than Breath of the Wild, people was going crazy about it. So not Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. People are going crazy about it. So I'm gonna just keep it 100. If that one's nominated, we good money with that one. That's all I'm saying. It probably sold a lot more, a whole bunch of these games too.
I'm thoroughly surprised.
Probably,
I would have expected you to be more hyped for Mario Brothers being up there.
Nah. I'm not a big Mario nigga. I fuck with Mario sometimes, not all the time. I'm not Italian, nigga. I'm Dominican. John, tell me something. I needed to say something first because I had nothing to say. So, John, say something, John. I know you play a lot of these games, bro.
This list is funny because I actually haven't played any of the games that are nominated, but I have done a considerable amount of research on all of these titles. I've watched the gameplay, I've watched reviews, and Alan Wake 2 I think is a product of somebody paying for that game to be where it is, because I just feel like it's too new for it to be on the list, like for people to be like, oh yeah, like an instant classic. Like I haven't played it, but I hear that it is in that survival horror genre. Baldur's Gate 3, I hear a lot of raving reviews and a lot of really positive responses to that. We got a note here that I'm going to go ahead and read for Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate 3 has already claimed the top prize at the Golden Joystick Awards for
What did he say?
This year, 2023. And they're now on the list for the Game Awards Game of the Year as well. So they might
what?
The Golden Joystick Awards.
Hey yo.
Golden what?
Motherfucking yo.
You know, the golden joystick, the golden Telerakis.
Oh my god, bro. Oh hell no, man.
So Baldur's Gate 3 has a lot of potential to win multiple awards this year, just because of it being a complete game that came out on day one. It's been getting a lot of praise for, its character creation, its in-depth RPG, immersion and stuff like that. So a lot of people are talking about Baldur's Gate. It's getting console ports soon, and I think it's PC only at the moment.
Yeah, I got you right now. So Baldur's Gate 3 came out on PC on August 3rd of this year. It was released for the PlayStation 5 on September 6th. The Mac OS got it on September 22nd, and Xbox Series XS are receiving it December of this year.
Okay, so maybe because I'm on Xbox time, I'm like, all right, there's no console version yet. But yeah, so the console versions are almost completely out for that game. But that one gets talked about a lot. So I'm expecting to see Baldur's Gate in like the top 2 at least of this category. Marvel Spider-Man 2. I also hear magnificent things about this game.
That game looks crazy.
I've seen plenty of like in-depth reviews on this game. The fighting looks crazy. The animation
that shit
looks crazy. It made me want to start the first Spider-Man, which I did. I just haven't picked it back up again, but I started the first one. Resident Evil 4, in my opinion, doesn't belong on this list, not because it's not a good game and it doesn't deserve to be awarded, but just because it is a remake of an older Resident Evil title. And to my knowledge, the story isn't changed very much. And,
it has.
You know, the game is practically the game, just better.
I will only speak to that because I have bias against that. I don't think it'll win, but I have bias against it in the sense that it was redone. They took a lot of things out from the old one. They added in new story elements that flesh it a lot better. So it was not a 1-for-1 remake, but that's all I'll add for that perspective.
Is they probably put a lot of care and love into making it more modern, and I think adding story elements is a big part of doing that. But I don't know. I just don't think an old game like that should be should be in this conversation for game of the year. Super Mario Bros. Wonder
should not be in this year.
No, I actually hear that it's probably the best 2D Mario game that's came out since like Mario 3.
I understand, but it's 2 weeks outside, but 2 weeks.
I get that, but when it comes to like Nintendo properties, right? We're used to seeing like Zelda now get talked about a lot. So Tears of the Kingdom being there is kind of like a no-brainer because of how much everyone really loved Breath of the Wild. But there really hasn't been a moment where a straight up 2D Mario game has been good enough for people to say this is Game of the Year nominee worthy. You know,
when was the last time Mario was? If someone in the back could look that up, when was the last time Mario was nominated for this?
That I honestly don't
think ever.
Usually Mario games
or please and get the information. But John, keep going. I want to know. Like, just
usually Nintendo first party games tend to win the family category. So like they'll have a Nintendo first party game come out and it'll be like, you know, best multiplayer or best family game. They always tend to give Nintendo the family stuff. So the fact that it's getting Game of the Year recognition is pretty good. It means that there's something to see in that game. Like there is something there. Because for a long time, like the new Super Mario games that they were doing were just receiving reception for years. A lot of people felt like every single one of those were the same game, just on a new console, just a new platform, new generation. So that one being up there is great to see for me because I'm a Nintendo kid. And then Tears of the Kingdom being up there makes a whole lot of sense. The only game that I have experience with is Tears of the Kingdom, and it's only because my wife has the game and was playing it for a really long time, and she just kind of put it down because it's really long and there's a lot of shit to do in the game. But it looks great. The gameplay. It
wasn't in the last 10 years. I can tell you that much.
Yeesh.
Yeah. So
yeah.
It's saying a lot. It's saying a lot.
The Game Awards started in 2014. Up until this point in time, there has not been any Mario game ever nominated.
That's tough.
So my point is that it's saying something.
Nah.
That's what my argument here is, that this has been one hell of a year for gaming. If a 2D Mario platformer was good enough to be considered for Game of the Year, I think there's something there. I do plan on purchasing the game. I would like to play it. I know that my wife and my daughter are both interested in it because it looks really fun.
It looks
from the trailers and from
hold on. Sorry, John. I lied. 2015 Super Mario Maker was nominated.
Mario Maker or Mario Maker 2?
Mario Maker.
Mario Maker. So that was on Wii U.
Yeah, because this was 2015.
Yeah, Wii U. And nobody bought a Wii U.
Nope. That don't count.
We're getting some more. Super Mario Maker. For once, Macky was right. Super Mario Odyssey did get nominated in 2017.
Oh, I did. I asked that. He said no.
Yeah, that was you. My bad. All right, so all right, we're good then. Macky was wrong. Bad.
Odyssey is great.
I didn't even say anything.
It's a 3D Mario game.
And if you want to count it, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate in 2019, but I don't know if that counts.
I don't count that as a Mario game.
Yeah.
Nintendo, yes, but not a Mario game.
So
Odyssey,
in the last
Odyssey,
10 years,
3 times.
in the last 10, so in the last 10 years, it's been nominated 3 times, twice.
3 with this one. 3.
You didn't. I don't know if you know that, Shawny.
You muted, Shawny.
You are muted.
3 with this year, but yes, out of the whole Game Awards, 3 times is the third
3
time.
times.
That's a lot, though. Out of 10 years, that's a lot.
No.
Well, considering
There's only been 2 Spider-Man games, and both of them have been nominated.
Okay, Mario doesn't pull up like
Mario
sorry.
puts out mad games, so like,
not main
for them to even
games,
get
though.
nominated-
Not main
Main
games,
games?
though.
Yeah.
Odyssey,
Yeah.
John, help me out here. Odyssey,
What mainline Mario games?
Odyssey,
Sunshine,
the one from this year, and Mario Maker.
Galaxy.
No, we're
No,
talking about like there's
Main-
Mario Maker. There's Mario Maker 1, Mario Maker 2.
Came out for the Switch. Then they did 3D World re-released with that DLC Bowser's
That's a
Fury.
re-release.
No, but it was a re-release with like a whole new game added to it.
Okay.
So they re-released the one game and then put a second game on it
Okay, so that's 2.
and released that. So I half count that.
And then Odyssey.
So, Bowser's Fury, Odyssey, Mario Maker 2,
and then the new one now.
Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Yeah, and then the other stuff are
older.
are remakes also. So the new Super Mario
So
Bros.
five new Mario games. 3 of them were nominated in the last 10 years. Like main Mario games. So that's a good average, bro. They were doing good.
Yeah, but we're also talking about like winning the category.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I'm not
they
talking about.
They haven't won.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I
No,
know.
just being nominated.
Yeah.
They've been nominated.
They've
I'm
been
just
good with
saying
the
that.
nominations, but winning it.
I just think that there's something there. We obviously are having the conversation, right? Like that was my point, is that there's something there with Super Mario Bros. Wonder. And I'd love to see more shit like that, because I just, as much as I'm not trying to hate on Resident Evil 4, because Shawny is making a good argument that they made enough changes for it to be its own thing, and I do respect that. Because Final Fantasy VII Remake was definitely not the same game. You know, so I understand that. The Rebirth.
The Rebirth comes
first,
out in
bro.
February. The second part comes out in February.
Did that Peach game come out yet?
No, the Peach game is not out yet. The only thing that's
2024.
came out recently for this year was the Super Mario RPG remake that came out. Super Mario Bros. Wonder came out. They did
The Mario RPG. The Paper Mario got to think something, right?
That's
Paper
coming in
Mario
2024.
was earlier. And the Switch Paper Mario was the Origami King that came out like 2019 or something like that. The new Paper Mario they're doing, the Thousand Year Doors remake, is a remaster.
Okay, so I mean, well, based on that, Nintendo's looking good. Macky, we haven't gotten your thoughts on it.
Yeah, no problem. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Like Crispin, I haven't played any of these games, but I did watch gameplay of course Spider-Man, because that's the one game that I want to play. But I have to agree with everyone else. I think recency bias is killing the list. I feel like there should be a cutoff on when you can submit your games for these. I know it's not. I know it's not like the Grammys. But
No. So just to give clarity, you don't submit. Basically, they get, I think, 20 to 25 of the best like editors and gamers and like game companies.
and they choose.
In industry, and they choose.
Oh,
so you don't even got to submit. It's whatever they decide.
Well, that's how it is with the Grammys too. But you still have to submit. But I hear you. Okay. Yeah. Well, I still think that there should be a cutoff. I don't think that, even though I know what Spider-Man has done and will do, just because it is Spider-Man, I think it's unfair to the other games that have come out, because again, like we mentioned, like all of you guys mentioned, this has been like an amazing year for gaming. You know, what's that game? Xbox Starfield. Everybody was.
I was gonna bring up.
I was surprised that I was surprised that wasn't even picked. I didn't play the game, but I know when I talk to niggas who play games, that's one of the games that everyone was going crazy for when it came out. The reason why, even before it came out, people were going stupid about it.
And what you just said is the reason why it did not get nominated. It was because of the fact of the cycle of how long it took for this game to come out, and people were going crazy about it, which created a hype and demand for it. And when it was released, it had very mixed reviews. There were people who liked it, there were people who loved it, there were people that hated it, but it wasn't like a 70-30 split, everybody loves it. That was the problem.
It was more like a 50-50.
It was 50-50. It was very mixed. That's why it did not make it. It did get nominated for something else for the Game Awards, but not for Game of the Year.
I guess that's what makes the Game Awards so pure, because they don't go with what they don't only use. Not even, but just what's popular or what the streets want. They're going with what's I don't know how they determine what games to pick, but from what I'm understanding, they're going by how the game is and if the game is good or not. So I'm not mad at it. Again, I didn't play any of these games. The game I want to play the most on here is Spider-Man 2, because I played the first one and I played the DLC in Miles Morales. So I want to play Spider, but I don't have a PlayStation 5. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel the same way that you guys do. I think recency bias it exists, and it can help and hurt. Again, I don't really have an opinion because I haven't played any of these games. But as someone that has a critical thinking skills, I can see that the way that they set up the Game Awards, from what I'm hearing, is unbiased. Yeah, and do it that way.
My Game of the Year is not even on this list,
and that's what
I wanted to ask next. Yeah,
hold on. I was gonna say that's gonna be for the end. The question that we have to ask next is based off of, before I've said my thoughts on it. Long story short, this was, out of all the games that came out this year, I think it's kind of cool that, not even cool, but it's kind of funny that 90% of this list is all sequels. When you look at it, Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, that's part 2. Marvel Spider-Man 2, part 2. Resident Evil 4, sequel. Super Mario Bros. Wonder, I don't know if I can count. I thought that to be its own standalone game, so I won't count.
Yeah, it's its own thing. It's not a sequel to a platformer. It's just a new platformer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So based on that, it's 90% sequels. And I will say that even if you look at last year's 2022, you had Elden Ring, A Plague Tale Requiem, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And Elden Ring will beat out the sequels. And we're talking like God of War and Horizon, which are pretty much like heavy hitters, especially for that year being sequels.
Yeah.
So this could be a big toss up. That being said, leads right into my next question before we even talk about our game of the year, what we consider to be our game of the year. Out of the list, Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Tears of the Kingdom, Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Who do you think will win out of this list? For me personally, I love Resident Evil 4, but I did not let me finish.
No. I was looking up the games that came out this year because I want to answer your question later, and I totally forgot this game came out this year. Sorry, it wasn't towards you.
Yeah, for Resident Evil 4, I loved it. I still replay it to this day. Came out March 24th. But for me, I was not even expecting it to make the list. So I was happy about it. But do I think it'll win? It's not going to be all these games on the list. If it's up to me, it's going to be a toss-up. I love Spider-Man 2, but I think it's going to be a toss-up between Tears of the Kingdom.
You played Spider-Man 2? You played it, right?
I platinumed it in a week. I'm done already. I'm waiting for New Game Plus. For me personally, it's going to be between Baldur's Gate 3 and
I hate
Tears
this
of the
nigga
Kingdom.
so much.
You
said which one? Tears of the Kingdom and
between Baldur's Gate 3 and Tears of the Kingdom. If we're talking how the games have been presented throughout the whole year, Tears of the Kingdom has been in conversation for a very long time. And that would be my thoughts. Whoever wants to take it next.
from the list, I think that Spider-Man will take it.
Okay.
Cool guess.
John?
No, let Matt go. He was just about to speak. He was just
Somebody
about to
freaking
answer.
speak, bro.
So I agree with Crispin. I think Spider-Man is going to take it just because of Spider-Man 1 came out in 2019, the first one. And we have been waiting for this one since then.
And they
So
killed him.
the hype for this game has been
Spider 2018, and it was beat out by God of War.
that year.
Yes, 2018 is when Spider-Man came out, and it was also nominated, and it lost to God of War.
That's fair comp. But yeah, I think it will be Spider-Man 2 only because, again, like I said, we've been waiting for this game for the past 4-5 years, however long it's been. I can't count right now. But I do think sleeper. I do think that if Spider-Man is not the winner, that Mario game will definitely win, just because of the hype around it. Like, let me not even say I've never seen, because I've seen hype for a Mario game before, but how people who don't really talk about Mario games are talking about this particular Mario game right now. It's kind of crazy. So I wouldn't be surprised if Mario wins. I want Spider-Man to win, of course. But I don't care who wins, to be honest. But if I were to pick a winner, it would be Spider-Man. But don't be surprised if Mario wins.
I would pick Mario from this list to win, just because I think it'd be really dope for a Mario platformer to win Game of the Year. But I just want to remind everybody that a large chunk of the people that worked on Super Mario Brothers Wonder worked on the original Mario games. Like they still have a lot of those same developers working at Nintendo. So like these are like industry veterans that made this Mario game, with new faces too, right? Like there's definitely new blood at Nintendo. It's not just a whole bunch of old people, but it just shows you that like sometimes the people that made the classics are the ones that are going to give you another classic.
Shout out to Chris Martinet. They just took that nigga off. He's no longer whatever that nigga's name is. Shout out to him. He's no longer Mario.
He's not, unfortunately. No, he's retiring. He's old, man. Yeah, he needs to retire.
He's old, but
I'm happy to see him happy.
Nah, for sure. Hey, you did your shit.
And then we're gonna go over our own game of the year.
To transition right into that, so based on that, we've given our thoughts on who we think will win out of the list. So now the question is, what game that is not on the list or better yet, screw that. What is your game of the year of this year? And the game had to be released this year. For me personally, it was Final Fantasy 16. I think Final Fantasy 16 was it was very controversial because it took.
They only on 16?
Dog, you gotta understand, 16 is not the definitive number. There are many spinoffs.
No, I'm making a joke. I would have thought they would have been on like 77 right by now.
No, it's just main
fantasy. How when is the actual Final Fantasy happening? How many? Anyway, sorry.
It's an anthology.
How many finals are there going to be?
Bro, they can't be all finals if every is Final Fantasy 8,000.
Attack on Titan showed us there could be many finals.
Absolutely.
That's another episode. Let's focus. Back to our conversation. In regards to Final Fantasy, it's anthology, so all the games have their own different stories, and they all have an ending. Except, I think 2 of them was a 13 and. Oh
wait, they're not like a.
No,
like
they're an anthology.
They're
all they're all their own individual stories, individual characters. They're numbered just so you know that it's the next installment in that game.
You don't need to play Final Fantasy 1 to play
you
Final
can play
Fantasy
any Final Fantasy
76.
You can play them in any order you want. Yep.
Yeah.
They're all different.
The only thing that kind of connects them aside from the Final Fantasy games, they all have a character named Sid in it. And
you see like tropes return, like chocobos and Moogles and stuff like that. You see all those things. They always come back. Just characters. The big chickens they ride. They jump on the big chicks and they ride the big gigantic chicks. Those are chocobos.
That sounds insane. They run the big chicks.
Yeah, they look like a baby chick, but it's muy grande.
Okay.
Jesus.
But race those.
Yeah, we sidetracked like a motherfucker.
Yes, we do. Final Fantasy 16. Crispin, what's your game of the year?
Hold on, we gotta explain why.
we had to keep going.
Well, you guys would stop. I could have finished. You guys kept cutting me off. You talk about Attack on Titan. You talk about a Fantasy series. You talking about it being a different Final Fantasy when you get a fucking end.
Shawny, please tell us why Final Fantasy is your game of the year.
You have to explain why.
Go ahead,
for me,
please.
It was a very good entry point for people who've never played Final Fantasy. It's not turn. You fix your fucking face, nigga. It's not turn based. It's not turn based. It's more action styled and whatnot. So the story was really well done. Little to no glitches at all. If you like Game of Thrones, the good things about it, then you'll love Final Fantasy 16. And it's just the entry point is it's very. It reminds me of Game of Thrones. If you don't believe me, you can download the demo and just play the 2 hour. It's a 2-hour demo. And if you're not sold on the story by then don't play the game, because that for me that's what sold it. It did not get promoted that much. Well, until later, until they announced the demo, and that's what sold me. I thought it should have I would pick it over Spider-Man 2, mainly because of the fact that I don't think there was any glitches at all. Spider-Man 2 did have a lot of glitches, and I, after my recency bias and playing the game, realizing it did have a lot of glitches. A lot. It did. And that is something that does play a factor to it.
I feel you. That's fair enough.
So yeah, that's my reasoning.
Okay.
Crispin, what was your game of the year this year?
Did Hogwarts come out?
Yes, it did, and that was one.
I didn't play that shit, but that shit is insane. So I'm gonna say that one.
That was
obviously I didn't play because I don't have an Xbox, I don't have a PS4. But I watched so much gameplay about this shit. I watched the whole story. By the way. I watched the entire story. I'm not playing that on a Switch, bro.
I feel
no, don't do it. To
Come on, bro. Like, I know what games I could play on a Switch.
Playing that shit in 64-bit is crazy.
My pixelated games, I play on the Switch because it look beautiful on the Switch. My pixelated games, okay? But you can't play Hogwarts on the Switch, bro. Come on, man.
You should. It actually just got ported. I think it just got ported over.
All I'm saying is, I watched the entire story of that game. I watched the entire story of that game. That game is perfection. I love it.
I do.
I never played it,
but I nominated.
Facts.
And I think that the only thing that fucked that game up was because of the fact that it was so far.
And the
the controversy around J.K. Rowling.
Yes,
that's really what it is.
It was a big factor, but I also think that
she was wild.
Because that game, Zelda came out before it, so that has nothing to do with it. It's the controversy, bro.
It should have been up there. That was a really
good. I think that I would. I think that the Game Awards didn't want the flack for nominating it, and that people would be like, "Oh, I don't support the Game Awards because they support someone who supports this type of rhetoric," and then you get all these boycotts from people that don't spend actual money on anything.
And they're a new award.
What's so funny about that? Majority of the people argued that it should have been up there. That's the hilarious part.
Yeah, because I've watched it. I mean, Sirmata beat that game. I saw most of that game, and it did look worth it for Harry Potter fans.
It was something. But that's the thing. You didn't have to be a Harry Potter fan. That game, I know a lot of people who played it who don't even know anything of Harry Potter and enjoyed it.
You don't need to know anything about Harry Potter to play that game.
And that's a reason why it should have been up there. It was a brand new game, brand new style. It took the controversy. It took an IP and flipped it on its ass and showed you, hey, we can make a fire ass.
You can make a fire ass game.
What about you, Mac? What's your game of the year choice?
It would have been Hogwarts. That's why I went. That shit came out. Yeah. As someone who bought it the week it came out and played it. I know niggas thought I was gonna say fucking FIFA. Fuck out of here. No, I was gonna say FIFA. It's definitely
you could have said FIFA.
I thought you could have.
It would have counted.
No
it would have
way.
been a game that came out.
It
This
would have
year.
been a count. Yeah, no.
Not even.
Oh, but I will say,
the same people that they've been giving us for the past last 2 years. Whatever.
sports
That's just
games
called.
have their own category on Game of the Game Awards. So
Yeah, but you know they should. Again, there's no sport game will ever be nominated for Game of the Year unless
I would have
you know,
said
I'm
no
actually
sport
playing
game.
that shit.
Unless
Yeah,
you
like,
have to make a
became
good game.
the basketball player in the game.
Yeah. Like there's no. I don't think that will ever happen. But yeah, it would definitely be Hogwarts Legacy. Probably one of the, even though I haven't beaten it yet, it's one of the best games I've ever played. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I played it. I loved it so much. Usually when I play video games, I play it here in my office. I played that shit on the big screen in the living room so I can see that shit because it looks amazing. It's beautiful. The fact that you can customize your character, you can have, and again, man, you know me, niggas know me, black.
I never knew.
They had different hairstyles, black hairstyles that actually look good. And I liked that factor. They also mentioned that the biggest wizarding school is in Africa. We out here. So that's why that would be Game of the Year for me.
Those are all cool reasons to enjoy the game.
I played Lies of P2. I didn't.
I was gonna say Liza P should have been fucking nominated. I watched that. I did not play
that game though.
Let me
like
say
that
something.
game.
Let me
I ain't
say.
really like.
Here's the thing.
We're sidetracking.
I know, but it's part of the conversation. Got a Game of the Year nomination should have been. Fucking
I hate him.
Y'all talking shit. Whatever.
I hate all these things.
No, Liza P.
People.
Elden Ring won last
Just so
year.
y'all know, I hate all
And
these
Elden
niggas.
Ring is a
Every
Souls
single
like.
one.
Yes,
Okay.
Elden Ring won Game of the Year, and that is a Souls like game. So you cannot say that it should not have been up there. It definitely should have been up there. The story is basically a Pinocchio in a post-apocalyptic world, and bro, I did not play it because I hate Souls games, but I watched it from start to fucking finish, gameplay and all. That is a very fire ass game. And fuck it, I don't give a fuck because nobody really playing. That's just spoilers. They are making a sequel / DLC, and it involves Alice in Wonder.
Cheshire Cat.
Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz.
They're making. There is a sequel DLC, and it's gonna have Wizard of Oz.
My personal Game of the Year for this year was Sea of Stars.
Actually, that did get nominated for a few things.
Nominated for like indie game of the year because
it
belongs to that indie category. So that was made by Sabotage Studios. So they're responsible for The Messenger, which was like a 2D side-scrolling platform Metroidvania kind of thing. And then Sea of Stars is a turn-based 16-bit RPG. So it was made and designed in that old school style of 16-bit. It is gorgeous pixel art style. The story is actually really, really good. It's one of the only times that I've ever liked anything that had shit to do with magic, because the whole thing is magical.
Yes.
This nigga hates magic, bro.
And I hate magic, and I love this game.
Wow,
it was
wild.
fantastic.
You didn't play Survivor?
Jedi? Survivor?
Yeah.
No, I'm waiting for it to hit Game Pass.
My nigga.
So
EA play for sure.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to hit Game Pass. I don't care if it's next year. I'll play it next year. So I think Sea of Stars was just such a hidden gem. Like not that many people like turn-based RPGs, and I get that. But if you it's a turn-based RPG that has like timing mechanics in it, so you have to time your hits and time your blocks to kind of like the Mario and Luigi
Lost. I think it was Lost Odyssey did the same style where you had the time was. I remember
you had to time your hit so you could do more damage, and then you have to time your blocks so you can try to reduce how much damage you get. So there is a little bit of interactivity with the gameplay. It works really well. It's a fantastic game. Sabotage hit a home run with that. I'm gonna buy the physical when they finally release the physicals because it's digital only right now. But you could play Sea of Stars on Game Pass. It's on PS Now. It's on the Switch if you want to play it on the Switch. It's a fantastic game and should have been nominated for Game of the Year. But I'm happy that it's winning all of these indie awards.
It got nominated for the Game Awards. It got nominated for the best indie game, and it got nominated for the best RPG. Though I heard there is some controversy. They're saying that they don't know why Sea of Stars was up there because they don't consider it to be like an indie studio like that compared to the other nominees with it. But that's a story for another time.
I mean, they've only made games.
I don't know. I'm just like I'm just telling you what the country. I just tell me what I saw.
What about Metro Prime? I know you had expressed your anger earlier in the year about the release for that. Did you end up playing the game?
I did. I've made some progress through it. I haven't finished it. I made some progress through it. It looks fantastic, and I think the gameplay is pretty good. I just ended up putting it down to play something else, and then sometimes I forget to go back and I move on from some games. But that's a game that I would go back and finish. But I don't think it should be nominated for anything. It's a game that already came out that we get to enjoy again. But
remaster is always good. You know,
I don't believe it. I don't believe it should get an award. I
know that you don't. I know. Yeah. What about and I'm just asking. I know that we have some people here who like fighting games, and what about Street Fighter 6? I know they have. I know they have a category. We're talking for Game of the Year though.
No, they because they have a category specifically for that. Fighting games damn near never get up there because they have their own.
But what I'm saying is there was a lot of hype for this game. That's the only reason why I mentioned Street Fighter 6. There was a lot of hype for the game. I know it's not going to get nominated, but I just wanted to mention it because there was a lot of hype. Everywhere I looked, motherfuckers was like,
one, and they both got
very true. That's another one.
That's what I'm trying to say. Fighting games are not going to make Game of the Year. They will make
only sports games.
Yeah, sports games, fighting games, like genre specifically, they have their own category. It's not to say the other games don't, but for that, they will never, ever, ever get Game of the Year because sports games and fighting games are very niche into their specific fans. It's like for you, how FIFA is. FIFA is a big thing for the sports, and that it did get FCF 20
EAFC 20 whatever. It's okay. We know what you're talking about when you say FIFA. It's fine. It's okay.
So they have their own niche fandoms, which puts them into their own categories. That should actually be available for the future, where we do one where we go through with Macky to see who he thinks for the sports nominations.
There you go. Thank you guys for listening to our Game of the Year conversations. Let us know what your Game of the Year is. Thank you guys for making it all the way to the end of the video. Please like this video, leave a comment down below. Let us know what you thought about today's topics or discussions. Share this video with friends and family. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And that's Nerdy by Nature TV. We are changing what you believe to be nerdy. We are all nerdy. And here at Nerdy by Nature, we're showing you how easy it is to get in touch with your nerdy side. So you could listen to our podcast. That's Nerdy by Nature Podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And that's Nerdy by Nature TV on all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, or X, whatever you prefer, and TikTok. And we're going to catch you on the next piece of content. Thank you once again.